My name is Joshua Gonzalez. I'm a third-year Army ROTC cadet, and I'm a student here at Old Dominion University. So right now, I'd say there's two main ways that the ROTC program is trying to prevent the spread of COVID. The first way would be in class. We actually cut our period in half, so instead of having just the one class with a lot of people in it, we cut it in half so that we're able to sit about 6 feet apart, every other seat, and then we're always required to make sure that we wear our masks when we're in class. The second way would be when we're at PT. We have PT every morning. We always have to wear our mask, which can be a little bit unfortunate at times, exercising with a mask, but we adapt.
Upright, face, front leaning rest position, move.
In cadence, exercise. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 2. Whenever we're in any type of formation, we're always making sure that we're at double arm intervals. That's our version of 6 feet apart, or make sure we're properly social distanced. Another thing, whenever we go on any type of run, any type of exercise, we're always making sure that we're keeping our distancing. Whenever we're running in formation, make sure that we're about 3 meters apart from each other. Anytime we're in any type of circle, we're usually a lot further apart than 6 feet.
The high jumper.
High jumper.
Side position, move. In cadence. In cadence.
So for me personally, ROTC is a pretty significant reason of why I'm here at Old Dominion. Because of COVID, most of my classes, or all my classes except for ROTC, are online, and therefore there really wouldn't be a reason for me to be staying here on campus if I wasn't doing ROTC. Therefore, I'm perfectly fine going to all of these ROTC exercises, activities, and events in person, because if I wasn't going to them in person, then there really wouldn't be any reason for me to be here at ODU. I continue ROTC despite the risks of COVID because it is something that I really want to do. I'm not here because of anyone else. I'm here for my own future and to set myself up to be as successful as possible. I know that there's still a pandemic going around, and I won't let that stop me from joining the Army and serving my country.
My name is Captain Peter Kilkenny. I am an assistant professor of military science and the S4 Logistics and Supply Officer for the Old Dominion University Army ROTC program. We're basically staying compliant with all the university requirements. We're maintaining, obviously you and I are in the same room. We're, 15 feet apart? We're both wearing masks. That's both good sense, and that is in keeping with ROTC by way of Cadet Command and the university policy. When we're training, the place we see it the most is during PT. You guys bunch up. We are always out there running through the middle of you, telling you to spread out. You see it yourself. Particularly when you guys run. When you're running in formation, you guys get, if we don't spread you out, you'll get 2 or 3 feet away from each other, and you're not wearing your masks while you run. So we have to remind you guys to spread out. But we do it all the time. The thing is, we've had cadets that have become COVID positive. Now, so far, everybody's recovered just fine, but it does have an impact on your overall fitness. It has an impact on your heart, it has an impact on your lungs. So there's that recovery period that comes with it. We don't want you guys to have to go through that. Then, of course, we ourselves all go home. As much as I'd like to think I'm healthy, I'm not a young man anymore. I'm not trying to take this home to myself and my wife. And it's just we need to make sure that, like I said, we're keeping the distances, we're keeping the masks, and just trying to maintain that spread. Now, when we're doing more of our field training, which is what our, the juniors and seniors are doing, the same deal applies. You're in the field, you're wearing your field gear, but you're still wearing your masks, which normally you wouldn't have done before. But if you guys are in your formation correctly anyway, you're 3 to 5 meters apart, still wearing masks. So again, if we're spreading you out the way you're supposed to be for those training exercises, by its very nature, it is a risk mitigation factor. Granted, we intend it as a risk mitigation factor so that you don't all get blown up with a grenade, but it works for COVID too. Well, everybody has their own thing. I was a recruiter for 2 years, and what I can tell you is that every person that walked through that door had a different reason for being there. And I would assume that the same applies to a cadet. Some of them just want to serve. Some of them are in it for college money. Some of them are in it for the leadership experience. Some of them just want to pad their resume for later because they want to work for the government or what have you. They're looking at a long-term goal that this is a part of. And even though it means they have to be here in person in order to achieve that goal, they believe that the goal is worth the risk. And that's a decision that each individual has to make. That's part of what we're training you to do as a future officer, is to evaluate risk and decide whether it's worth it to achieve your particular mission. Now for our part, we acknowledge the risk, and that's why the mitigation factors are here. Even if the university did not have guidance, which they do, Cadet Command has guidance, which is why we're maintaining the distance, which is why we're wearing the masks, which is why we're running in the middle of you guys during PT telling you to spread out all the time. It comes down to the individual, though. I can't say why Jason Hoyle decided to be a cadet. I can ask you and you can tell me, but your answer is not going to be the same as anyone else's. But an overarching theme that I would say is that everyone that's here, everyone that's participating in this and choosing to move forward is doing so because they have decided that the risk is being mitigated to enough of a degree that it's worth doing in order to achieve whatever that next goal is, even if that next goal is 3 steps down the line.
My name is Jay Turalba. I'm a 3rd year here at Old Dominion University, and I am in Army ROTC. Yes, this whole COVID situation has definitely made an impact in our training. An example of this was last week's lab. We were conducting squad movements in the woods, and it definitely made it a challenge because we're still following SOP, which is standard operating procedures, and we have to keep our distances while wearing a mask.
I'm getting a magnetic azimuth of about 310 degrees northwest.
Cool. Alright, let's go. I do not mind attending these ROTC events in person because events such as PT, lab, and field training exercises plays a vital role in shaping us to be future Army leaders.